Gulliver is in a lot of ways like my friend here. He's not very smart. This cat, alas, is not very smart. There are cats who chase their tails. There are cats who flee from their tails. Meet a tail fleer. And, like Gulliver, my friend here is obsessed with poop. Very interested in what goes on in the litter box. Gulliver makes lots of scatological jokes, or a lot of scatological jokes are made at Gulliver's expense. We see this back in Voyage to Lilliput. We have to tell, in the first time I had to kind of avoid nature in my house, and then after that, we had a plan. I was in extremis, so I had to basically defecate inside his house. But then we had a nice arrangement where I'd go at a certain time every day at the end of my chain, and people would come by with wheelbarrows. There's a lot of details about bodily functions and gastrointestinal distress in Olive Swift, in Gulliver's Travels, but really Olive Swift. He likes the scatological humor. The fact that people defecate, that they have bungle holes, is extremely interesting to Swift, or something he keeps bringing up. It's also the case, you'll see, it's in his description of how yahoos behave, like when they fall from power. There's a chief minister of the yahoos. When he falls from power, all the other yahoos defecate on him. Which Gulliver says, isn't so different from what actually happens in politics. It's like, yeah, you cease to be prime minister, and then suddenly everybody's dumping on you in a pretty literal way. The yahoos just bring this out literally. There's a moment where Gulliver picks up a Yahoo child, and that Yahoo child, he tries to comfort it, but it shrieks, but it dumps. And there's a description of the kind of yellow shit stain on Gulliver's clothes that he's embarrassed about. He keeps getting dumped on throughout part 4. In fact, after he meets the Yahoos and they're crowding around him, he takes out his hanger. His hanger is his sword, by the way. He's not trying to protect himself with something that came from the dry cleaners. The hanger is the sword that hangs by your side, and he's fending them off. And some of them climb a tree and void their bowels on him. So when Gulliver meets the Winhams, he's just literally been shat upon by a band of arboreal Yahoos. This happens all the time. It is worth pointing out, I don't want to go into it in much more detail. Swift repeatedly goes to bodily functions as a form of humiliation and a kind of failure of good manners, and a sign on some level of the human body's revolt against human pretenses. We can claim to be intellectual animals, but we're still animals, and it turns out everybody poops, but for Swift, that's a problem.